Great. Welcome to the Land Use and Ethics Subcommittee. Today we're going to be considering two bills, HB 71, Delegate Stewart, which we discussed last week, and we discussed all the amendments. And Matt, our committee counsel, has finalized those amendments, and HB 558, which had a good hearing in the Senate and the House and is already moving in the Senate, I believe. So we are going to start with HB 558. Kristen, do you want to just remind the committee, since there were two agritourism bills, which one this is?
Sure. This is the one that adds camping and incidental outdoor stays to the model definition of agritourism.
Okay. Thank you. There's a motion to move the bill. Is there a second? Move it favorable. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of favorable motion on HB 558, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Great. Delegate Clark, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your constituent too. And now let's move on to HB 71. Delegate Stewart and Matt and Camille, I understand, have all worked on some amendments over the past week. We sent around the finalized bill with the amendments yesterday. Matt or Delegate Stewart, do you want to talk to us a little bit about where things are?
Matt, you go.
Sure. So the amendment document you should have is HB 71 663-823-1. Some of these amendments were discussed last week. Again, I'll just say generally the amendments do two things overall. First, they strike any changes to state law in the bill as introduced, which deal with the conversion of manufactured property from personal to real property. And they substantially modify the changes related to the sale of manufactured real property and the right of first offer for a homeowners organization. Just to briefly go over specifically what those amendments do, they would add a requirement that a homeowners organization, as defined in the bill, comprise homeowners who lease or rent at least 51% of the lots in the manufactured housing community and include a mobile home park in the definition of manufactured housing community. They would alter provisions of the bill related to timing and the contents of the notice that must be delivered by the community owner to the homeowners prior to accepting an offer for sale. Would require that a community owner shall consider an offer to purchase the manufactured housing community by a homeowners organization that's made during a certain time period if the homeowners organization provides certain documentation. One change to note is the members of the homeowners organization must unanimously vote in favor of sending a proposal to the community owner. Would require the community owner to consider an offer to purchase the manufactured housing community if an offer is made in accordance with the act, and would limit the penalty provisions in the bill to willful failures to comply with the requirements created by the act, and limit the liability of an owner for a violation to $10,000. And then, of course, there's a number of components of the bill that were just struck, and then there are technical changes that were made. And that's what I have.
Great, thank you. Delegate Stewart.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. And thanks to Matt. First of all, thanks to Matt. He put in a lot of work on this. I really appreciate it. He's amazing and really good at his job. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. I also really appreciate Camille and MMHA and the folks at Horizon for working with me on this. And it was a little bit of a slog to get the amendments through, but obviously we now have it in a place where there's no opposition. And I just wanted to make 2 points. Number one, Delegate Holmes, in I don't know if you caught it with Matt, what Matt just said, but in response to a point that I think you adroitly raised last week about this issue about whether homeowners would be bound by an offer if they did not want to submit an offer, we have added one additional amendment since last week to make it clear that a homeowners organization would have to be unanimous in wanting to put in an offer. Now, obviously, they'd still only an organization would still only need to be 51% of the overall lots. So, if folks didn't want to put in an offer, didn't want to be a member of the organization, they could withdraw, and the organization could make those rules clear in the bylaws about what that looks like. But we just want to avoid any sort of unintended situation where homeowners are part of an organization, they don't want to put any money up or don't want to at all participate in an offer for purchase. And so that's why we added that additional amendment. And so as amended, essentially the bill does two things. One, and I think most crucially, it provides a little bit additional notice to homeowners before a property is sold and before their life could change dramatically. depending on who it's sold to and what their intentions are for the property. And then secondly, with a lot of different legal, with a lot of different loopholes, obviously, or not loopholes, but hurdles that they'll have to cross, a homeowners organization would have the opportunity to put in a purchase offer if they meet all the requirements under the bill. And the owner of the property would have to consider it. They would not have to accept it under any condition. They would just have to look at it. And as we talked about last week, our intent here is if the offer looks good, and obviously it's much more than about price, but if the offer looks good, we expect the community owner to give it, fair consideration. And if it doesn't look good, and if there are better offers, that's fine. And even if, very few community purchased associations or groups come out of this bill, at the very least, I think we've done something really important, which is provide residents in these communities with more notice before their lives might be upended. So again, I appreciate everyone's work on this. I know that it was a fair amount of work for everyone, and yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. And Matt and Vaughn and Camille, thank you all for working on this. Really appreciate it. As somebody whose firm has worked with these tenants in these at these camps in the past, have really appreciate it. So Delegate Ciliberti, are you trying to say something?
No.
Okay. Is there any motion on the bill or questions?
On the bill or the amendments?
All of them.
I don't have a question. Just what motion are you taking?
I'm happy to entertain any motion from the subcommittee.
I move favorable on the amendments, Madam Chair.
Second.
Great, thank you. Okay, all in favor of the amendments, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the bill as amended?
In favor when the bill is amended, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
Second.
abstain.
You abstain, okay. Did I hear a second?
Second.
Great. On the bill as amended, there's a motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. We will
Abstain.
send this. Sorry?
Abstain.
Okay, yes, we will record you as abstaining, Delegate Ciliberti. Thank you. And we will
Thank you.
send both of these bills to the full committee. Thank you so much. Nice and quick. And thanks for being so, thanks everybody for reviewing the bills beforehand as well. Now, if you're on ENV, you get to go to the next subcommittee hearing. So good luck. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.